shot at Four Corner Pub, and we need you there.
I'd be like, I'm there. I'm gonna wear the shell tops. I'm gonna put on some J's. I have
what are the chances?
three options.
Pictures even.
We're ready.
We're live on Rhett's rap video.
So I hate to ask you to do something else. You've been doing everything, but that Jameson, it's not gonna fly over here by itself, I guess.
The lifeguard. What do you have on right here? Caps. Yeah, caps are on.
What's up? What's up? Oh, look. Oh.
EO,
we're even going early.
Robert Cohen, Greg Martin, Joe Marangolo. Appreciate y'all. I used Benjamin for the picture. Whenever I use Benjamin for the picture, then that's how I kind of get myself going and know that it's going to be a great one.
I'm blocking Benjamin. I'm sorry, but
that's right. I prefer to think of it as you're protecting Benjamin. What's up, Joe?
Actually,
protecting Benjamin from.
There's so many things I'm not saying.
I also the fact that I'm blocking the entire bear.
Benjamin is doing some things behind you that we can't say.
Jokes I want to make
on the air.
Bear blocker. Blocker.
Welcome to Thank God It's Tuesday on behalf of First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Marangolo, joined by Benjamin and Kevin Rico.
Yeah, I'm not the bear blocker. I get to go first. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man, welcome. Draft time. Let's talk. Let's go. Let's figure out what everyone wants. This is going to be nuts. I have no idea. There's a couple guys I know I would be happy with, but how it's going to unfold in years past, I think we've had our hand on the pulse to a tad, and it's kind of worked out that way.
Hand on the pulse?
Handles.
Handle?
Finger on the pulse? Anyways,
everyone knows.
We don't know shit this year.
You finger a pulse.
I will.
Everyone knows that a pulse is fingered, not handled. Yeah. T's tracking?
I'm not sure I even followed anything that just happened, but I look at this as the NFL Christmas. Right. NFL Christmas, everybody gets new stuff, new shiny things that they want to see how it works out and play with and figure it out if it makes your team better. So let's get it going.
Well, let's talk about that.
Want to welcome right back in. I want to turn this down. Tell me, you guys, if the sound's okay. Our board's been acting up a little bit, and we're listening here. AGH, welcome from Wales. I know we talked about it briefly. We're friends all the way up until Wales-US for that one-day Wales-US World Cup game, which is going to be the greatest day ever for AGH and us.
I'm still your friend that day even, buddy.
Well, we're friends, but listen, we're friends, period.
I got your back, AGH.
Oh, now I'm the bad guy. It's all about me being the bad guy. All right, fair enough.
I got nothing against AGH,
fair enough.
even playing against his team. I don't know. Maybe it's my lack of soccer passion. Maybe that's what it is.
Robert Cohen giving us the touch hot. I'm going to touch it down. All right, so tonight we have for you planned a couple things. Now, at the top of the show, we appreciate everyone who is here. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. First, I want to ask you to click on the button to subscribe to First Amendment Sports. It is totally free. Hit the notification bell. It'll tell you when we're going live with this show as well as other live events. What I also want you to do is provide us some ideas for our draft this evening. That worked out pretty well 2 weeks ago. We'll do a 3-round draft of whatever you tell us to draft. We'll solicit some ideas. We'll pick from the best one.
Board-controlled draft.
Board-controlled draft, BCD.
It sounds like we have draft skills. Like, we'll take anything you got. 3 rounds. Like, I'm scared shitless.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Of course.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but
just don't make it music.
No,
come on. No, it's definitely got to have some music. What do you mean don't make it music? That was the most fun one we've had.
It was. It's always good doing music drafts with T just because.
Have you done Hurdle yet?
80s,
we're
80s
going
music.
no scotch. We never do scotch, by the way. I think in our 5.5, 6.5 years, we've done scotch maybe once and not on purpose. It might have been a bottle that someone gave T that he brought here, and it was literally the only bottle we had like 5 weeks later, and we drank it. But tonight we're going Jameson. It's a classic Irish whiskey. It doesn't just everyone's like it gets the job done. No, it is. I prefer to say it's the standard. It's delicious. It's great on ice, and it's the reason why all the other ones are so good and so great.
It's the official Tuesday night whiskey.
It started right there. Is it true that the Costco Irish whiskey is Jameson?
It's imported from the same city, and everyone always does these blind label Kirklands. People, these these white label, whatever they're called. They try and figure them out.
The Costco vodka is
the rumors. Well, the rumor is the French vodka is obviously the Grey Goose.
Grey Goose, yeah.
And then the American, there's supposed to be a take on the Tito's, I guess. I
It's
don't
a
know what
potato
other
vodka.
American vodka
Sure.
we got to offer, but for $12.99, that American with the big old pineapple cut up in it tastes like it was $40. That pineapple's
it.
99 cents on special at the Safeway or the Giant, and I highly recommend. Costco, 1.75 for $12.99. Slice the pineapple thin, stick them in that mason jar, give it 3 days, up to 3 weeks, whatever you want to do to yourself, but it all works tremendously well.
Wow.
But just if Aaron Morin comes to your house, she might drink you by the glass. So just be careful.
You drink it? You drink it? Apologize. I was like, I drank all that pineapple stuff. I was like, well, you can have a
Pineapple mixed drink. No, that wasn't a mixed drink. That was just vodka. The pineapple's in it.
Yes,
all right.
By the way, out there, real quick, these two put on the performance of a lifetime at a 9-year-old girl's birthday party this weekend. And I couldn't have been prouder.
That did not sound good.
Cheers
but
to you. Cheers to you.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Well,
I love it. It's family
it was my
birthday
daughter's
party time.
birthday party, and we had
Somebody says party,
we had a
and
crew.
I don't know. You just
And
you
after
go.
the birthday was sung and the candles were blown out and the lights went down.
Hey, I know
Turned into a
people on
good
this
night.
board, people who, kind of understand what we're all about. And I know Joe Marangolo was commenting on those Jamesons. Knows it's you invite a bunch of people to your backyard, make some food on the grill, put some drinks out, and man, everything else just takes care of itself. And that's the beauty of life. And
Well,
it
if
was
you're
a great
friends
Sunday.
with people like yourself
Yep.
and have a family that you wouldn't trade for anything.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't trade my family for any red breast. That's facts. And that's hard not to do for some folks.
Draft red breast number 11.
You wouldn't trade Jim Marangolo for a red breast, would you?
No. Just one red breast? No way. No,
We'll
no.
talk numbers later, but just say no.
All right,
here we
so
go, here we
go. How many red breasts
we
would it take?
do have some news and notes. And while I always preface this by saying I understand people don't always want to talk about the owner, but the owner is always in the news. Number one headline on ESPN 2 days before the NFL draft is the state of Virginia AG and DC's AG is in the midst of launching new, fresh investigations on probably not so fresh evidence and data. Virginia and DC are investigating the Commanders. I mean, that's new. That's within the last 24, 36 hours. So first, of course, we're going to talk about it for at least a minute or two.
Can't we say they're investigating the Redskins? Because that's legit.
They are absolutely
They're
investigating the Redskins. They're investigating the
what they're
Redskins. Those mother effers. So that's what's happening. It's interesting to me on a couple of fronts. The first one's easy. I've been saying that this team's going to get sold. I still think it's happening. I think we've never been closer. I'm looking for it to happen in the dead band before the season starts. Moving on.
Before the season starts.
Yeah. The
Wow.
state of Virginia investigating the Redskins is interesting to me because they've been kind of like the front runners to get our stadium for, years. Virginia's been like the person you hold DC hostage. You hold DC hostage by going out to Virginia and Maryland. Virginia is the home of the Allen family. Former governor, former coach, former GM. They were greasing the wheels. This team was putting a stadium in the state of Virginia. The relationship between the team and the state of Virginia was supposed to be locked tight. The politics were all agreed to. Everything was kind of like, we're going to Virginia. And now the Attorney General launching this investigation. I'm just going to say, I don't think Dan Snyder's the kind of guy who says, it's okay that you're investigating me for financial improprieties and sexual assault. Can we still talk about building a stadium in your state? I'm just saying that's probably not happening right now.
And it's the Commonwealth. There's laws that date back hundreds of years that got to be able to nab that nasty bastard. He is definitely.
It's just another swing of the axe, man. That's what I
Swing of the
see.
axe. I love it.
That's what I see.
Virginia is for lovers, not for disgustingly greedy, cheating pieces of shit. So
Yes.
I'm thinking
This is good.
This is a good thing. They
This is a
want the
good thing.
team. They would love the team without having to bring that baggage.
So let me layer
Just
this
another chop.
onto you.
It's gonna happen.
Since we're chopping wood, T, here's my next chop of the wood. This is officially unrelenting. This is not just a couple of things that have happened to a rich guy that kind of get
That's my
investigated
point.
and moved
It
past.
won't stop.
So, but it's officially unrelenting now, and you have to ask yourself, I think, who's behind the unrelenting aspect of it? Because for a while, the NFL was happy to protect Dan Snyder, and I'm sure that they did, and I'm sure they were successful for a long time. Dan Snyder was successful in protecting himself, but the new investigations today, in the last 24 hours, to me, it hammers home this idea that this is not going to stop. Is not going to stop. And now I'm starting to get the feeling, and this is, again, my own personal interpretation, that this is the league. This is the league exerting its influence on all levels of society, and this is the league putting pressure on Dan Snyder. I believe that. Now, obviously, Virginia, because I don't, because I hate.
It may not be the league proactively doing it, but
Okay.
certainly the league's not getting in the way.
I'm saying the league's
Anymore.
proactively doing it. I'm saying 31
And it could
billionaire
be.
guys are greasing
It could be. They
wheels
might
now.
not be. What I'm seeing it from a perspective from where I've worked in our day jobs, right? I've been around investigations, seen investigations happen. When you start smelling blood in the water, and you're someone who can, go out and try to prove it, they know a lot more than what they're letting on to be, in the public. When you keep seeing these things pop up like this, it means there's enough there. These people don't spend their time going after something that they don't think that they can get.
And Mary Jo White's still happening.
And when you start getting more and more interest from more and more people and more players and more places, that's what I mean by just inevitably. I think this is going to end.
These
badly
guys
for
are
Daniel
opportunists
Snyder.
now. The attorney generals and elected officials in states, these are politicians. They are the last people. They're not going to buy a ticket for a ship that's going nowhere. They are glomming on to something that they know. I
Yeah.
think they kind of know where it's going, and they
Yeah,
want to
that's
end
my
up being on
point.
the right side of it.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that's another reason why I think this is the league
Absolutely.
putting the pressure on, because politicians don't do anything unless they have some.
Well, I'm giving the league. I'm giving the league a little bit of the benefit of the doubt in that maybe not their. They usually protect their own. Here, I don't know if they're going to try and eat their own, but they're certainly, I think, in this situation, going, ask us whatever you want, and we'll give you whatever
They're
we got.
not going to eat them because a lot of those SOBs are equally as edible. And
So I don't know if it's-
they get
it-
that, but it's not going to be a cancel
Yeah.
deal. But when you start doing that shit with the cheerleaders, and then you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar,
Yep.
that's when all this stuff's happened. Since the hand in the cookie jar.
Yep. And that's why I
Well,
do.
follow the money,
I
yeah,
think
and that's where you
billionaires
hook
are-
them. I
I
mean,
think
that's
they're
why
working
the mafia always gets
overtime.
tax evasion.
That's what we were
convicted.
I was trying to get him
So-
tax evasion like 2 months ago.
I mean-
he seems pretty slick.
So I don't know, Greg. I know you said Washington Post. I just want to be clear for people on the board who are watching. This is not a Washington Post expose. This isn't even like a journalism-driven situation at this point in time. This is the Congress referring from the FTC to states' attorneys general, financial improprieties based on evidence and firsthand witness testimonials. So this is not a media-driven situation at this point in time. And that does not mean this is going to result in anything that we want. So let's all be clear-eyed and open, minded about that terribleness. But the good news is, I think we're in an unrelenting stage of this game, and they only have to get through the next 5 days of distraction before this becomes a front and center issue for football for at least a month, I think. And I think that's what ultimately it's going to be. And I know we spent like 5 minutes on it. I'm happy to move on, unless you guys have any additional comments on it, because I think this is a huge deal. We've been talking about this for 6 years, but this is real, and I think that the writing's been on the wall, and the thrashing, because here's the thing that really kills me. Dan Snyder is moving on full tilt, full speed ahead. They just announced that Doug Williams. Sorry, Joe, I have to review your comment before I can show it. All right. I don't know why that got flagged. Because Dan Snyder just launched the Doug Williams Academy for minority coaches, so that's like a huge initiative that he's put in place. Within the last 48, 72 hours, he's just like, you know what? Things are going really bad. And these aren't like bad things to do, but it's so insulting. It's insulting to our entire society that Dan Snyder, in his last throes of football team ownership, is throwing all these spitballs out there. Minority this, woman that. All these things that he never stood for 20 years. And he's just trying to act like he's that guy now. That is so insulting. It's so insulting. And I don't think people are going to stand for it or buy it, but I'm a little worried.
If you have no respect for the human being that's doing the insulting, it does not feel that insulting to me. Because it's just such a joke at this point.
It's a joke.
It doesn't even cross me. It doesn't make me angry. It's
Yeah, I
it's
get
the same.
you. Yeah.
It's all he's ever done. It's no different. It's just he's the PR guy. Oh God, man, that's all. All right, let's talk about some other.
So
less
I'm waiting for a few
cats.
more draft. Again, any topic that you want to propose, we'll do a quick three-round draft on that topic. It was a lot of fun last week, and we'll keep your eyes open on that one, Kevin. We'll go back through. All right, so first things first, we'll start with Commanders. Commanders / being we love the draft. We're 2 days away from an awesome NFL event. I know that Bill Burr bit, by the way, that you sent on text was just awesome when he beats people up for watching the draft.
I love the
We're
fact,
on the other side of it.
I know. I'm watching the
it
whole
was
thing.
hysterical.
He sent us up,
It is.
but it's okay.
Yeah.
as people who
Yeah.
do watch the draft
I am.
and everything, the line when he was like, it's all written down for you the next day.
The next day.
You can literally tune in the next day and see everyone
yeah.
where they were picked, who traded.
You just kind of listen to it and you go,
Get it the next day.
yeah.
Then when he did the interview and he was like, I'm going to a great organization. I'm looking forward to having a family atmosphere and all the other shit the last 100 guys said.
So good.
Every interview is all praise to the man upstairs.
Thank God, obviously. First person to thank is Jesus.
Check out Google Bill Burr draft. He's a funny dude.
We got our first topic, by the way. I'm going to write it down.
What you got? What you writing down?
Transformers. Now, this is just one of the options.
Write that in pencil.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, so...
I'm a Transformer fan, but...
Oh, we'll take a time out for this. Andrew B., congratulations to our Hall of Famer from CUA. A craft beer, I'll write craft beer down. But the idea that we're two days away from an event that we care a great deal about, and there won't be really anything big in the NFL again until the end of August, but we'll make a big deal out of things starting in June because that's what we're all about. So the event itself, are you guys, T and Kevin, would you rather watch it from your home or a bar, or would you rather go to what the NFL is turning it into, a live event, wherever they're hosting it? Do you see value in being part of that?
0.
Okay.
I like the war room. I like my basement. I like having my TV, my phone, my device, and just fully immersing myself in all aspects of every possible ability to hear everything in peace and quiet. It's kind of a thing that I love. If someone wants to hang out with me and do that, that's fine. I'm not going somewhere like Thursday night now. The way they've redone it, I'll go out Thursday night. Like if we used to do some remote shows. They were fun. Caddy's had us a couple years.
Yeah.
It was a good gig. I would do that, but my preference, home base.
Yeah, that's my default pretty much for any day that ends in Y, what Kevin just described. But, if you're in the town where the draft is, yeah, you might want to check out that experience. I think I look at those people and think, this is crazy that they sit there and do this and act like,
They don't have notepads and ADD
idiots,
stuff.
But
they're just actually cheering. Like,
they're
I
there
have
and
to
they're
have,
having a good time.
stuff.
And you know what? It's kind of cool the way they're doing stuff with the fans now and making them a part of the whole thing, I guess. But no, I'm more of a war room kind of guy myself.
I don't know. The problem, the NFL is so commercial, and they it's kind of like they can't. almost through no fault of their own, they can't touch anything without it turning into something like kind of over
Because the
top
people
too
want
much.
it, though.
I know.
The people
I
want
know.
it.
Well, they have tons of money to spend. They really only need 100,000. The 100,000 to 150,000 people they're going to get to come through on a 3 or 4 day package. They're going to get those people, and you really only need I mean, you're gonna, especially if you do it in Vegas or Times Square or Chicago.
It's Vegas, so.
Is it Vegas on Thursday?
I believe it's Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, I would go to Vegas just because I love Vegas, but I'm not. I would actively not go there.
I'm
going
gonna
to
say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it, and this is it just hit me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in Vegas and I'm attending the draft, then I'm an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you live in in proximity.
Yes.
But that to me is like a 1 in 5, 1 in 10 year trip.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there the whole time, cheering for 31 other teams, guy, for 3 hours, there's a lot more to freaking do.
Yeah.
And
and
I'm just saying.
I want to see cards.
That's tough.
I want to for 24 straight hours, and if a bunch of donks from all around the league wearing their Brian Westbrook jerseys
That's
and their
fair.
whatever, great.
That makes for a good evening.
Yes, it does.
Good conversation.
I don't know why I said Brian Westbrook. I just think of Philly guys, but and I love Brian Westbrook.
I mean, and Brian Westbrook's one of the Philly jerseys that would
Friend
be
of the show.
forgiven. And you'd be like, yo, Brian, if you're going to wear a Philly jersey, might as well be Westbrook. But T-Bird's got his original Damatha throwback, which it goes for way more on the internet.
The Westbrook throwback or the Strachan throwback?
Either or.
Either or works for me as well. All right, so we have a big event coming up on Thursday, and so, in addition to it being like a football fanny situation,
Don't ever say football fanny ever again. It's my only
What the hell is a
word.
football fan?
We're about to find out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want
It's a
to.
situation
Yeah,
that
I don't think it's a term of endearment.
relates itself to football.
That's like a football
Fannies.
fanny right there. Huh?
We get to watch our team
Stop
pick
saying fanny.
in a fanny way.
Fanny.
We get of the Rivera takeoff in a meaningful way, and we've been saying this for months. The third year, it's the third date. Everyone knows what happens on the third date of the rebuild. Kevin's been saying it for months and months and months. This is where it happens.
You're really
There's gonna be some fanny involved.
It's the third
really setting
date
yourself
of
up
the
for disappointment
rebuild.
here.
Everything's going on right now. It's the third date.
Rebuild.
Oh, we need to get some Bell Biv DeVoe, maybe a little Boyz II Men working on a song for that. I think it lends itself.
That poison is not what we're looking for.
No,
at
we're
this
not.
point.
No,
You never
we're not.
trust a big butt and a smile. We have to remember.
Rivera. Oh my goodness gracious! Okay, we're good. The ability for Rivera to find himself a player that starts right away and makes a huge difference. So, without further ado, here's my question specific to the Commanders, but not specific to who you think we're going to pick.
That's the one for T-Bird and all of us. Go ahead, so go ahead.
All right,
For
we'll come
a
back.
few
Yeah,
seconds.
will you write that
Yeah,
down?
I got it.
All right. So, and we got a storm in the area, everybody. So just know that you might get a little freeze every once in a while, but we should be fine.
Technical difficulties, huh?
It's
Yep.
raining Ken.
It's raining,
God.
Ken.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
All right. So what's the smoke screen? Okay. So don't tell me who you want the Commanders to pick. Tell me who the Commanders are desperate to convince the league that they want to pick for strategic purposes. Kevin.
I listened to Ron Rivera say this week, specifically, that we needed to surround Carson Wentz with weapons.
Yes.
Or guys that will protect him. The smoke screen is the guys that will protect him. We're not drafting someone at 11 who's got to be a starter. Gots to be when we pretty much have our starting lineup lined up. Besides a guard, I get that. So there
But
could be.
we're not gonna
and we
take a
talked
guard
about it.
in
So
number 11.
I'm not certain. I think the smoke screen is that if Charles Croft from Mississippi State has yet to be drafted and someone sees it, some others believe that there's a big drop off after him to the next level of tackles, and he's there at 11. I think that's the smoke screen. Charles Croft could be had at 11 if you call up the Washington Commanders.
T, what position specifically? One position. I know you like to tee it up with like 5 or 6 positions. One position that you. What's the smoke screen that the Redskins?
No, I loved Kevin's answer. I really do. I think that was actually very smart. I was going to go with wide receiver, and I think in part,
Stole mine.
I think it is because if somebody sees a wide receiver that they like, where the Commanders could take them, they may ask, to try and get up there. And then I think that's a scenario where the Commanders then trade back because there are wide receivers where you can trade back, like Olave, who they have kind of, according to the reports, fallen in love with, where he's falling in that latter half of the first round. So maybe that is the smoke screen. I've been thinking all this talk about wide receiver talk it's a lot of talk.
I think
up to
wide
the draft.
receiver is the smoke screen. Also, I agree with you. I don't need to make one up because I think it's between offensive line and wide receiver. I don't think anyone thinks we're drafting a defensive end
Or a quarterback.
and I don't think a
anything
cornerback is a smoke screen. I think
No.
we need a good corner, and if he's there and someone else wants him,
I guess you could make the case
take him or
for
not.
for a defensive back, because Stingley and who else?
Yeah, but I think people would buy. I think we would take it. I think so. Here's the reason why I think wide receiver is a smoke screen and cornerback isn't. I think we would take the cornerback, and I hope we don't take the wide
Probably.
receiver because the cornerback to me would be way more effective right away.
But and
Or defensive back, including safety.
it seems obvious to me at cornerback that we won't do that at 11. But I feel like it would just stunt St. Juice growth as a second-year guy when we're looking forward to him to take that huge jump. Then we've got 2 stud corners ish. They have to play better than they did at times last year.
Kevin, can I ask you a question?
Then what? Then we have a leftover guy at that spot, and
Can I ask you? Do
Wrong
you have
guy for
a
that.
Trent McDuffie versus Derek Stingley position?
no, it's a Derek Stingley would be my choice, and I
Okay.
wouldn't even hesitate Stingley over McDuffie. Hey, I'm sorry, just McDuffie's just he's a smaller guy. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. This is first round. You're trying to draft an iconic Hall of Famer
Booth?
here, and
He's second now, right?
yeah, Booth's fifth in some of them. I mean, Booth.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people have Booth in the second. Some people have him as high as 20th. So,
Yeah.
I think the 2 cornerbacks are clear cut. I think
Yep.
the sauce. There'll be no more sauce by the time
No.
we're ready.
No
to pick.
sauce.
The
It's
will be
it's
gone.
Sauce or Stingley.
Tim, come on in, my
Stingley's the only
friend.
one that
Just
you
step
can really
over
take
the
it.
wires.
That would
You'll
be
be
my-
fine.
that'd be my
Everyone
guess.
expects to see you. You'll be good. That's
Tim,
an athlete for
Tim.
you. That's an athlete for you. Unlike Rhett, who wormed his way. I think actually you could worm your way underneath that one.
Look,
Rhett
man.
Donnelly, Timmy Ukes.
Guys, some guys go over the hurdle. Some guys go under. As long as it's evaded.
Yeah.
And the crown molding is
So I agree with Kevin, and I think that Stingley will be the best quarterback on the board by the time we draft. And I think I think he's the only player from a cornerback standpoint that someone would even think for a second of trading up for. I don't think anyone's trading up for Derek Stingley personally, but I think he's that good, and I don't think we're going to ask for the world to trade back.
First of all, his reputation in the football world is bizarre. He was the #1 recruit in 2019. When we started doing all this stuff, we were looking around at some of these schools and some of these kids at IMG. We covered them. This guy was the 5-star #1 premier guy in 2019. He goes to Baton Rouge, and he's just doing his thing, guarding
Jamar Chase.
Jefferson, and then the slot, the stud that had a stud year this year is a rookie also.
Well, Terrace Marshall from Carolina.
Terrace is a stud. Anyways, they're talking about how he fell off in last year. Whatever. I don't know, but I know his freshman year he was a beast, and I know who he guarded at practice every day. And
he was hurt last year.
but that's the thing. The problem with him is he's had some injuries, some tough ones.
The LSU
some
went through
sickness,
some crap.
some missed games, some ankles. He seems to be like a. So we'll see. We'll
Yep.
see. Who knows, man?
All right, so the smoke screen for the Washington Commanders has to be offensive line and wide receiver. But the one thing that I feel like is the most obvious one that I don't think we can get away with right now, but that it would be great if we could, would be quarterback because there's going to be a quarterback available when we draft at number 11 that somebody's going to want, but no one's going to believe that we'll take him, and we'll let him drop.
Well, it doesn't matter if they believe if we're going to take him.
Minnesota's not taking a quarterback.
Fair enough. If the Pittsburgh Steelers at 20,
Yeah, or
I think
somebody
that
right
someone's
behind
starting
us.
to get hot and heavy because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to say that I don't think the quarterback panic, the panic at the draft show. I don't think that is a thing that hasn't happened. Like 2 weeks ago, there was 4 guys going in the top 15 picks. Now there's no one going in the top 15 picks at quarterback. I don't believe that. I want to see it first. But if Pittsburgh has a chance to jump up and grab someone at number 11, that they think a Malik Willis, that someone might try and come and get for him. If they start thinking maybe we need to get him at 11 and not wait till 20, maybe we just got to give up a little something like a third
round
pick
Give me a third.
and bump us back to 20 with a third. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Kev,
I mean, that's too much of a dream come true.
I know, but I
get it.
always think so we're sitting at 11 and there's going to be a quarterback there when we are on the clock. And I can't stop thinking about the Chicago Bears draft trading up to number 2 for Mitchell. Mitchell Trubisky at number 2 overall. So the fact that
I think we all shit ourselves when that happened.
the fact that happened,
I Trubisky right in my underwear. Yes.
any GM is going to be like, well, shit, if I can just trade up to number 11 and get Malik Willis, and I'll look like a effing genius because I didn't trade up to number 2 for Mitchell Trubisky.
Right.
I think that's real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's recent. That's like 3 or 4 years ago.
It's real after 5 Jamesons and a whole lot of we love you.
Real.
Well, that
Commanders.
certainly is true if everything goes the way that the mock drafts went a month ago, which had at least 2 quarterbacks going in the top
Now.
Yeah.
11, 12.
But if that market drops back 10 slots, that 11 slot becomes the 1 slot. Work with me.
Yep,
I'm just saying.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It doesn't become the 1 slot.
You're
It
talking
does-
out of your fanny right now.
I'm not saying it. I know this. I was talking to my fanny. Fuck, I'm done.
So
Quit.
now let's talk about what we think is going to happen. Now, so what I want to do real fast is I'm just going to point to you, and you just give me the name of the player. We're just going to say who, and we're going to start there, and we'll work our way backwards. Who you think we're going to draft at number 11, and then we'll have the conversation behind that.
Can we say one name or can we say that?
No. Well, no,
One
don't.
name?
Don't tee it up. Take like 5 names. Do I have to take some guys off the table?
One
See,
name.
I'm going to take some names off the table.
One name.
John Riggins is off the table. Darryl Green, you cannot say Darryl Green.
Okay.
Or Art Monk.
Okay.
But you can't say Ricky Sanders.
You also can't say the word boner.
That's all. That's the only word I want to say now.
that's
T,
all I'm gonna think about.
you get to say first. Who are we drafting at number 11?
Kyle Hamilton.
Kevin?
I mean, we already did this. How do I back off of Kyle Hamilton now? That's what I already said.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton. All right, so we all.
He's going to be there. How about this?
He's going to be there.
Not one safety has been drafted in the top 10 picks in 5 years. The trend in recent GM blah 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 is that the safety position isn't, I guess, or maybe there just hasn't been that many good safeties. There hasn't been a top 10 safety in 5 years.
So here's why Kyle Hamilton makes the most sense for us at number 11, my personal opinion, and then I'll scooter right on down the line so these guys can talk about it. The whole idea that we just signed Bobby McCain and we have Cam Curl. So like the evolution of the defensive scheme that we run under Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera. By the way, get your fingers ready to click the thumbs up on this one. We just got one. I didn't even finish my thought. We already got a like. If we hear something you like, give us that like. The evolution of our defense is 3 safeties. That's the truth. That is absolutely where our defense is. That third safety is so important. Bobby McCain, Cam Curl, and Kyle Hamilton would be on the field most, if not all of the time together. This is a defense that would thrive schematically on what they would be able to do by inserting Kyle Hamilton into the starting 11, being able to move him down, being able to play him out, cover tight ends, defend the run, but also be in coverage with a 6'4", 7+ foot wingspan, blocking passing lanes in the 10 to 15 plus yard range. The whole defensive scheme that Jack Del Rio wants to run is predicated not on that one position, but on the ability to have someone play that spot and play it well. Landon Collins played it, but he was playing it as he was kind of backpedaling in his career.
They will play different spots. He will play different. He can play the spots Collins did.
He can play those spots and he'll play other spots.
Collins couldn't play the spots that he
that
will
also
also.
play. Okay, so now I'll
in my
sit down to you.
opinion,
I think this is an evolutionary pick
I
for our
think he
defense.
can do what Collins did plus coverage. I mean,
There's no doubt about it.
That's the deal. I mean, he's an
Single
upgrade to
high
Collins.
coverage, too.
I mean, he doesn't have the veteran and the experience and some of that leadership, but hopefully he will. Not his rookie season, but what you're getting really in terms of a football player is Landon Collins who can cover. Thank God.
So I'm not loving this pick, who we said, because I think he's a Sean Taylor 2.0. We've played all those games. I'm done with all that. There's only one Sean
He's
Taylor.
not.
That's it. And no one is that. But he's 6'4", 220. He throws his body around with reckless abandon. He's a bad son of a bitch. He hits like a missile. He's not afraid. When I tell you, he hits like a backer. He's a beast. He's a monster.
6'4".
He flings himself, though. 6'4", 220 is cute when you're running around making plays all day long. Monte Nicholson, was that his name for us, from Michigan State? got in some trouble. Was our
Yes.
starting safety a couple years back. Michigan State 6'4", 210, looked like Adonis. Looked like Tarzan, played like Jane in college. Came and had a couple big hits for us. Had a good year, his second year, and got in a little trouble and lost himself in the league. This is not that dude. This dude's a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant guy. He's a Notre Dame honor roll student. This guy was a basketball Division I scholarship athlete, offered a basketball scholarship before he was offered a college football scholarship. He's going to be 6'4", 230-something, running sideline to sideline, playing deep third and playing anywhere on this defense for somebody. He's a bad dude, and that's why I love him. Not because he's supposed to be like somebody else, and not because he's so athletic and tested great in the combine or didn't run a fast enough speed to drop him from the 10. He's a bad SOB.
Yep.
And I want physicality on this defense on the back end. And, you know, Landon Collins brought it from the back end, but he was 8 yards from the line of scrimmage.
How many times have we seen, though, going into the draft, the guy is projected to be top 5, top 10 in some metric or measurable, knocks him out, but he still ends up having an incredible career. I mean, a guy like the Honey Badger, right? I mean,
course.
you know, guys like that get some sort of knock when they start going through the interview processes and all that kind of stuff. I think I actually think it's, if he's there, I think it's the safest pick that they can make.
Yeah, well, if he's there. So I think somebody's got to be like,
But Greg,
he's pretty.
McCain's playing.
Good.
McCain's playing for us. If we draft Kyle Hamilton, McCain's playing
Played for us when Landis was
Yes,
there.
yes.
Landis was there.
I think McCain has a spot on our defense, especially in this era when you're going to have 3 safeties.
How about this? We all know we're sick and tired of talking about the versatility on the defense and how versatile, and we're going to be so versatile. It's so versatile. Well, guess what? It's a deal. And Bobby McCain can come up and play cornerback against a number 3. He can come up and guard the slot. He can play deep. Bobby McCain is a good signing for what he's worth.
Yep.
And that's never going to stop us from drafting Kyle Hamilton.
No.
You look at
This dude's here for 5 more years, from 6'4", 220 as a stick-figured child to a man's man. That guy's going to evolve here in a tremendous fashion on a defense that's going to need it. And can you imagine if we can put together something on the back end with that front 4 that
Yeah, I
they
mean, look
need
what
it?
you can do, though, with a Bobby McCain on one side and a Kyle Hamilton on the other. You don't know which one can come up and run support.
Well, also,
which one's
Cam
gonna
Curl.
drop.
I mean, Cam Curl's not
No,
coming
no.
off the
Well,
field.
Cam's doing his own thing, but I'm
Yeah.
saying when you got guys that can do somewhat similar things, fill in a hole, fill in an alley, right? If you're making the quarterback and the other team's offensive coordinator guess as to who's going to be where and doing what role, it's hard. It's hard to scheme against.
Yeah,
Well,
when your
it's
6'4", 220 guy plays
Yeah.
like a linebacker and hits like a brick shithouse, you have options with him. So
Well, and also because it also addresses like this obvious thing that we've been talking about now for a few years, which like the defensive line is a strength of our team. That's where we have a ton of talent and we've invested a ton of resources. If you draft Kyle Hamilton, you are strengthening the back part of a defense, and Cam Curl is talented and he is a great player for us. The weakness of our defense has been that middle level, the linebackers. Now, we have good players there, but drafting Kyle Hamilton also helps your linebacker level. And the reason why Kyle Hamilton also is a great investment on your defense is because, yeah, you have an awesome front 4. You know, in the NFL, if you have a good front 4, and how about this? In the sport of football, if you have 4 amazing, you know, fist on the ground defensive linemen who can do whatever they want to do.
He went fist, bro. You saw
Fist
it. You saw it.
on the ground.
I saw it. Everyone here heard it.
Just getting nasty with it. I think that
Oh God.
you pretty much have a lot of ability to be creative behind those 4 guys. And so, you know, Kyle Hamilton, I mean, his success, his ability to succeed will be so much enhanced by the presence of Sweat, Young, Payne, and Allen. I mean, that's crazy. That's a great 4 players. Because that's what the defense is built around. We can talk about Kyle Hamilton all day long and how good we hope he is and think he is. But nothing happens on our defense without those guys
They need
doing what
each
they do.
other.
Yes.
If we did draft Kyle Hamilton, he would need the fisticuff for.
He would need the
If
fisticuff
not,
for,
if
yes.
not, we're gonna need a safety. So I mean, it's.
I
But
can't
the
do
problem
it.
with all this
Superhero.
is that means that we have to draft offense, and
Yes,
offense.
yes. So that was a question on the
Well,
board.
that
When
was
do we
what
go
I was
low?
going to ask. Do you guys buy into this? Well, you've gone D. You have to go
You
offense.
said it. You
Yes.
went ahead and took over Ken's role.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't
No.
mean to take his role.
D. It's 4 Ds.
That's a lot of D. in your life, T.
It's way too much.
That is just
After the first D, that's one too many Ds.
First
Do you
of
guys
all,
subscribe
you
to
need
that
get on, like, you
thought?
You need to get on some rehab for all that D.
Do you subscribe to the thought that, well, no, they
Don't let him shake
they
his
have
fist
to
at you.
go. They have to go offense.
I'm transferring. I'm moving it down this way.
You have got to go offense, defense, or defense, offense.
So second round.
I think so.
Well, no,
You
I'm
need
talking
two
about your
starters.
first pick. Does your
Second-
first pick have to be offense?
No.
If you've gone defense,
No.
so
Oh,
many
yeah,
times
I
in a
say
row.
no. I say
That's
no.
that was my quick question.
Nah,
I say no.
Because I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree
No, I don't
either.
either.
But
I
I
also
think there's
think-
a lot of people that do.
But T, the only
I get it. I'm not saying they're wrong either. I don't know. This is the craziest year.
you can go BPA, as a main strategy, but I also think like the thing that swings our pendulum just slightly to one side over the other is our two most influential front office / coaching guys are former linebackers. One of the meanest, nastiest defenses in the history of the NFL in the '85 Bears, and Jack Del Rio, who has a reputation of being a hard-nosed, linebacker in his own right in the league. Those guys think a certain way, and to them, it's not
They
fixed
do,
until the defense is 100%.
But there's a lot
done.
of people out here right now that think that today's NFL is different, and that you look at the playoffs, it's the playmakers, not the defenses. It's the playmakers that are getting you there and winning the Super Bowl. And if you
I don't
want to
think that's
get
what
there,
they think.
you can't keep your first round picks on defensive players.
And as defensive-minded guys, they know who blew their stack. They know who ruined their day. There was the guys like what I'm going to say is my favorite receiver now that we're 2 days out of the draft, Jameson Williams.
He is
I'd much
amazing.
rather. I've now decided he's the guy that I think is going to be
A
the
lot of people
star
still
of
have him
the
as the
class.
second best.
How about this though? The one thing
Of the
that
group.
the reason why, and I know his injury.
I've loved him all along.
I've taken the injury out of, and I know that's not the right thing to do, and we need him to. We've had enough injured wide receivers. I get it. Don't hit me. Don't kill me here, board.
It's kind of our
This
thing.
dude was a gunner on punt team. The dude was a gunner. This dude got into it with the dude at Georgia in the hedges, and he threw a D back through the hedges into the third row, and he treated him like a rag doll. This is a physical specimen of a dude who's second gear.
He's a bad
kicking.
man.
He might be one of the top deep threats in the league for the next half decade before he figures it out.
Actually, you guys have a bet on the books of where he goes before or after 19, I believe, right?
James
Don't-
Williams.
You two. I have a bet.
I have him going before number 19.
And you had him coming afterwards.
Maybe.
I thought there was a scenario where we actually do trade back and end up taking him in that latter half of the first round,
Well, I love that.
Well, we'll
I
see
love that.
where he's
dude.
projected.
He's gotta get
Jameson
there.
Williams, I think, watching today what I watched, the physicalness of him and the gear and the deep ball threats and the way he runs his routes. Boy, that dude looks like a Julio Jones or oh man, he has that look to him. That
We need
that
to go back to
glide.
the videotape on that one, T.
You guys did have a
Are you
bet.
sure? Are you sure it was Jameson Williams?
Absolutely 100% that he wasn't going to go. You think he was going to go before 19? Kevin said he was going to go after 19.
And if I say that, it's
Okay.
because of the injury.
Because of the injury, of course.
I loved him last year, and
You
it
were
was so
saying
weird
it-
that he transferred from Ohio State.
No.
and caught 15
You and I were
balls his whole
definitely
career
on the
there.
Jameson bandwagon,
Oh,
and we were
he's a
both
stud.
miffed that he was being mocked after 19.
He was.
And I
He
just,
was.
I just went
So
over
maybe
the
that
You
was
did
just-
not think that was
Maybe
right.
the conversation was that, because it's not what I believe more so than what I think will
Where's your
happen.
book?
And
You
right
wrote it
now,
down?
his jump has taken a huge. So I went and watched highlights when people say they watch film. We watch film. Sables didn't send us the 8mm. We actually we
I still
used our
say film.
machine
Every time.
So, but some people take
Sables.
take
God
offense to
bless
that.
you all.
Hey, you and I have watched
Get
enough
it,
film
dude,
that
get
no
over
one
it.
should take offense to anything.
Get over it, kid.
Watching that dude on film is pretty special, man. Star potential wise, I think he has it.
Speaking of Sables, on one try tonight without a single adjustment, I think we got it right across
Way to go,
the. It's not on me. It's a group effort. There's 5 people in this basement tonight, 6 including Benjamin, and I think we all contributed. I love the idea of George Pickens in the second round. I do think it's a wide receiver in the second round.
Pickens is tough as nails, also.
Yeah, if he
Another
lasts
wide
that
receiver
long,
that's tough as nails. He's a tough dude. He might have been the dude through the hedges.
I
in
would
Georgia.
take him all
That might
day.
be the other dude. The two of them were. They're. But when a receiver, look, man, when a diva receiver is out there playing college football, going on punt returns and getting into a full ass fist fight, and that winds up in the stands, and he won decidedly. Yeah, let's bring them to town. Let's have those.
I think he's
guys.
available in the second round for us. I'm taking him. That's my second round pick. Manner of speaking, please explain yourself. We don't have a third round pick right now. Are you saying we're going to add one? I'll let you. I'll hang up.
Well, I think that's a
and
part of
listen.
We
the
all want
trade
to.
that gets us in the
First
second half of
time
the first round. Also comes
caller,
with a third.
long time listener. AGH. You think wait? John Mechie. Yeah, John Mechie's been. I've seen his name linked to us too. I don't know that he's going to be available or not. I am so good with drafting defense in the first round personally. Maybe I've just gotten so used to it. But I love it. I love establishing an identity. I don't think we're going to establish an identity on offense this year, necessarily with Carson Wentz. Or I don't think that's like the thing. I mean, let me rephrase that.
We're going to have an identity.
We're going to have an
Might not
identity.
be good, but there will be identification.
I'm committed to making our team about defense. I think that's going to be. I want that to be our calling card. I want that to be who we are. I don't think that's a unrealistic possibility. And I think adding a defensive starter and potential, all pro level talent is I don't know. I think that's the way we should be going, and I have no problem with that. All right, so we don't have
we don't have a third round.
we don't have a third round pick as of today, manner of speaking, but talk to us in 48
Let's go get one.
hours.
Let's go get one.
Yeah.
that's what we need to do.
Well,
right.
our
third round is our best round.
But I've also read a bunch where there may not actually be huge blockbuster trades, for the first round because of the lack of just eye-popping talent in the first round. But there's going to be a lot of movement in those final rounds, and there's going to be a lot of trading and a lot of bartering going on because of how rich the talent is there in those middle rounds.
Did you catch that one? It was a tough one.
I didn't catch that one.
Good. Hope you don't.
Wow.
I heard it, but I thought it was Tim.
It was a Brisker.
What was tough about it?
Brisker.
Was that a K Ricka?
Huh?
Was that a K Ricka?
No.
That was That was
I
Timmy.
think so.
That was Timmy.
I have no idea
That
what
was
they're talking
health for
about.
life, I think. You heard it. Some health for life.
All right, so
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Good.
we're picking
That's
Kyle
a good
Hamilton.
thing.
We're picking Kyle Hamilton.
Just blame me for everything.
This is the Rhett Donnelly segment of the show. Pull up the sheet. Pull up the prop sheet. I'm gonna before we go to the props down the line. I'm gonna ask you guys a simple question, and board can get in there as well. First player picked at each position, and we'll keep it somewhat broad: offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, safety, wide receiver, running back. We're not gonna do tight ends right now. We'll just
Kickers?
just say Trey McBride is
Punters, maybe.
punters for sure. Punters and long snappers to close it out. Red's got about 5 or 6 long snappers available.
No Cheesemans.
We got our Cheeseman. We got our Cheeseman.
Cheeseman?
All right, so let's go quarterback.
Actually, yeah.
And T, please tell me just the name of the player you think will be the first quarterback selected. And I'm gonna, you know what?
I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think it's going to be Malik.
All right, so QB. T says Malik. Kev?
Malik.
I'm going to say, so Kev says Malik. I'm going to say Pickett.
You're going small cabbage hands? Nice. You're the guy who hates the small hands worse
I
than
know.
anybody?
Glove
So
guy.
What are you doing right now?
Well,
Wide receiver.
Ken has
What are
small
you
hands
doing?
too. So
First wide
he's just-
receiver this time, Kevin goes first. First wide receiver
are
off
we
the
saying
board.
who we think is okay? So who's
First
going
wide
to be the
receiver
first
off
wide
the
receiver
board.
drafted off the board? Holy crap! I'm going to go ahead and say the first wide receiver off the board is going to be Drake London.
Drake. T, first wide receiver off the board.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. I concur. 2 Garretts, 1 Malik. Running back. Who was the first running back off the board? This is probably, like, in the last 5 to 7 or 8 years, running back position totally marginalized in the draft. Good evening, Tom Marangolo, and a hat tip to you, sir. The running back has been a position that has been bazookaed out of the first round, except for a few elite, talented players. I think there's guys this year that are going to be absolute studs in this league, and no one's going to have to spend any kind of top level resource on them. T, would you like to go first?
Well, according to my research,
Okay.
the number 1 ranked running back in this draft, his overall rank is 49. So that goes to show you where running backs really, are valued in today's NFL as rookies. But it's going to be Kenneth Walker from Michigan State.
The fourth, right?
Wake Forest, actually.
Actually, Wake Forest.
Kenneth Walker. He transferred. He transferred from Wake to Michigan State.
You were correct
He started
the
at Wake
first time.
Forest, then transferred. He
got?
spent 3 years there, to be honest.
I think I'm going with the surprise underdog first pick. I think Nick Saban gets into someone's head. He handed the ball to Brian Robinson
B-Rob?
as often as he could. B-Rob is a workhorse. Someone that needs someone to step in right now, today, right away.
We all love Alabama running backs with the last name Robinson. That's a fact.
It's true.
That's a fact. All right.
True, but the one I love now is that has transferred to Texas.
I know.
Keelan, K-Rob, we're going to be talking about him next year.
I'm
guys.
going Brees Hall. I think he's going to be the first running back off the board. All right, so OL. I think there's going to be some disagreement here. T,
Has been.
first OL off the board, in your opinion.
I felt it's going to be Neal all along, Evan Neal.
I've said 6'8", 337. He plays way better at 325, someone wrote. Like, how would you know, bro?
All right.
How would that guy know?
So Neal, and obviously I'm Icky.
Yeah, you're
all
all
day.
Icky.
All right, so I'm Icky all day. All right, let's go to defensive
Sticky
side.
Icky.
I mean, if you have the ability to draft Evan Neal or Icky on your team,
And just don't go to the Giants.
you're doing just
I
fine.
don't want either of them to go to the Giants.
All right, DL. This is by the way, this is for all marbles because this.
Yeah, are you doing edge as a separate
yes,
category?
we're gonna
Okay.
throw them all in there.
All in there at the same time?
Yeah, all in there at the same time. You know what, Kev? I'm gonna give you the honor on this one.
Which one?
DL,
D-line?
inclusive of tackle, inclusive
I
of.
don't
and
care. It's Trayvon
inclusive
Walker,
edge.
brother.
Okay?
It don't matter. It's Trayvon Walker. I wish we could get Trayvon Walker. I don't care. I want Trayvon Walker.
You think he's the guy, T?
I think
Well,
he's
the
a
first guy
freak.
to go is going to be Aiden Hutchinson.
You're going Aiden. All right. I think it is one of those two guys. So, just for note to the board, the Vegas odds changed to Trayvon Walker today, I believe.
I've seen it.
On the number one overall pick. The Goodfellas amongst us believe that Trent Balk, who's drafting for the Jacksonville Jaguars, is all in on metrics, measurables, numbers, stats. And Trayvon Walker gives that. And as much as
he
I
does.
love Aiden Hutchinson,
Safest pick in the draft, Aiden Hutchinson.
safest pick, and Trent Balk is not a safest pick guy.
Trayvon
And
Walker's
by the way,
the upside
if
guy.
you're drafting for the Jacksonville Jaguars, you have zero pressure to do anything safe. But you should be doing the least safe things ever. You should be like the poster child for what is unsafe.
Agreed.
If you're drafting for Jacksonville, therefore Trayvon Walker will be drafted
No one
number
does
one.
shit safe in Jacksonville. What are we talking about?
LB, linebacker, first linebacker off the board. Now, this is not an edge rusher. This is going to be a middle or outside linebacker. T, who is it going to be?
N'Kobe Dean.
Devin Lloyd from Utah.
Kevin, Lloyd. Yeah, Lloyd has really jumped. I mean, it's crazy to me that neither of these two players will be drafted in the top half of the first round. It doesn't seem.
I don't know if you're right.
It's crazy.
But so many different things and the way they've been rising, and I'm just
Well,
saying, the
some
idea
people-
of Devin Lloyd playing the middle.
Some people have put Devin Lloyd, said that the Commander's going to take him at 11.
You know what? That'd be very interesting. It's one thing we haven't really talked about, that we would go first round linebacker back to back with our linebacker induced staff. And why wouldn't we talk about that more with two linebackers in charge when our linebackers is the weakest portion of our whole entire defense? Wouldn't it make a little bit of sense? Why haven't we talked about that? Why isn't anyone talking about that?
We're all saying sauce,
I've seen it.
right? No one's saying
No,
single
we're
sauce.
sauce.
And we're all saying Kyle.
We're all sauce and we're all Kyle.
All right, so
But
that
I will say this: if safety is what we do and want to do, that Dax Hill, Lewis Sign, Jalen Petre, like there's some hard hitting stuff.
Lewis Signs, we have to trade up in the second round, I think, to get Lewis Signs.
Sure. Well, you know,
Dax Hamilton. But if Dax Hamilton sneaks into the first round.
Dax Hamilton. Are you combining?
I'm combining.
Hold on,
I
you
am
combine safety.
combining.
Dax Hill. Dax Hill.
I'm combining Dax Hill
It's all
with
right.
Kyle
If
Hamilton.
you could combine
Dax
them both,
Hill
that'd be great,
sneaks his way into the first round.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool, only because he's kind of like that kind of player. That if you guys haven't watched him or loved him, That's totally respectable. I think he's the kind of player that you would, if he comes on your team, he's going to stand out on most plays. You're going to have fun watching him, and he's going to, he's going to be a plus player, not a minus player. If he's on the field for your starting 11, he's going to make plays.
My cousin played safety for San Diego 100 million years ago. His head coach was Jim Harbaugh. As the head coach, Jim Harbaugh spent an inordinate amount of time with the safeties. In fact, when Harbaugh was at Stanford, he came back to sit with my family at the table for senior night. I know, pretty special, right? Like, I don't know Harbaugh that well. I'm not really a huge fan.
He's wearing Dockers.
But what I seem to understand is, like Saban, his defense, his Vipers, his guys on defense, those are his guys. That's who he spends his time with him. And this dude is a hoss, and he has spent a ton of time. They have a great relationship. This guy's going to make someone very happy for a very long time. So
I agree.
If that's a second round type cat for the good
he
guys,
belongs in the league. He's going to play at a high level,
bro,
and
he's a hitter.
Yes,
the physicality of the safety position has been lost. Did we forget about Ed Reed and Sean Taylor and the boys? Like, everyone that's been compared to them hasn't come close to their physicality. Is someone going to step up and hold the mantle? I mean, look, we've got guys out there playing some great ball. The dude in Arizona has been a stud. Honey Badger, of course. But he's not a true 1 deep. But here's what I'm saying. Let's go with the safety position and see what happens.
Rhett, feed us your top 4 draft prop bet. We're gonna put some bets together here for the board, and then we're gonna close out with our board selected draft BSD. All right, so Rhett, top 4 on the sheet. So we're putting in. By the way, we're putting this in. This is going to be. We're going to post some monetary gains or losses between now and Friday.
All right.
Total quarterbacks drafted.
Total quarterbacks
Period?
drafted.
2.5 first round.
First round.
2.5.
2.5 is the.
Over or under?
All right, I'm
Are we
under.
writing this down?
Yeah. So all right. So
I got the over. I feel like the quarterback panic is happening. I do not believe it. I just don't believe that they're not going to panic at some point for 3 first-round picks. That just means Matt Corral has to go in the first round.
Kevin, T,
Under.
and Ken. So Kev is O.
I got the
T
over.
is un. So we're talking about Pickett, Willis. All right, I'm over. Someone's going to make the leap for Ritter. I'm feeling it now. Is Ritter your third?
No.
Who's your third?
Corrales.
Coral.
I think Pete Carroll loves Matt Corral.
All right, Rhett, what do we got?
That's what I think. Seattle for Corral.
Running backs drafted in the first round.
Over under?
0.
So 0 or 1?
0, 0, 0.
This is a total
0.
under, dude. This is all
0.
under all day. Over, under, running backs drafted in the first round, 0.5. By the way, these are lines you can bet. Now, we're not sponsored officially by any gambling sites. Obviously,
Let us know if you're
Timmy
interested.
Ukes has a couple of connections. We might be getting a couple of dollars. No one that won't be reported on any official forms. But that's an under all day. Kevin, under?
I didn't hear anything that we were just saying. My ADD allowed me to keep reading the sheet.
Yes, he's an under.
What was that?
0.5
we're all
running backs.
under.
Oh, it's the same
under.
question?
We're all under.
Under,
Oh, yeah, I already did that. I
under,
already entered that.
under. Rhett.
All right. The number 1 pick in the NFL draft is going to be.
So wait, so this is just you get to pick the player?
Was he listening?
So we said
We
got
went.
Trayvon.
I went Trayvon. He went
Aiden.
Trayvon. All right, so we're going.
We'll skip that one.
All right, so
Or we'll just answer it for a second time. We could do either.
T Dub.
Wide receivers. First round wide receivers. It's a big class for wide receivers. 6.5 wide receivers in the first round.
Over under
gonna be
6.5 wide receivers.
I'm going under.
He's going
I've got
under
6.
6.5.
Let's name them: Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jameson Williams, Traylon Burks.
So that's 3.
Olave.
Chris Olave.
That's 4.
5.
Chris Olave's 5.
Right. You're talking about.
Give me your 6.
Oh,
Give
we
me
got
your number
Traylon
6.
Burks. Oh my God. Who's the guy from the speedster Dotson from Penn State? Has been mocked. Jahan Dotson.
The Georgia kid. Pickens?
Pickens, I think, is a second rounder.
James Dotson has been in the back of the first round for eternity. Also,
I got to go
there's another
under.
speed.
I got to go under.
I
It's
went
gonna be
under. I went under. I think it's
Under.
gonna be 6.
I think it's gonna be
Shoot,
5.
If that's 7, that's like literally a quarter of the first round.
I think it's gonna be 5.
It's a heavy receiver here, man. There's cats everywhere. What's the guy's Sky with 2 eyes? The
Sky
speed
Moore.
guy.
Sky.
I mean, there's dudes. There's specialists. There's little guys. There's big guys. I mean,
Okay, so here's where I'm going to call a quick TO, and I'm going to remind everybody that there's 4 teams. So there's 3 teams with 2 picks in the first 10. There's more than that with teams with multiple picks in the first round. 3 teams, I believe, have 3. But long story short, I think that will tilt the draft in the first round towards wide receivers because it's such a deep draft. The multiple picks in the first round, to me, if you have multiple picks in the first round, I think you're obligated, if you're a smart GM, to dip your toes into the deepest part of the first round talent, which is the first round, which is the wide receiver position. You said under.
I said under. I think
T?
it's gonna be 6.
I think it's gonna be 5.
T says under, and I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna go over there. The world we live in dictates that guys who can run fast and catch the ball get drafted. All right, last one, Rhett.
I'll give you guys one more.
Okay.
Which team is going to draft Kenny Pickett?
All right. So does the website get Carolina Panthers?
Carolina Panthers
Yeah.
are the favorite at plus 150.
The question is, which team will draft Kenny Pickett?
Saints at plus 200. Steelers plus 350. The Falcons and the Seahawks are plus 500. After that, it's big odds.
I'll go.
What do you got?
I say Pittsburgh.
D's got Pittsburgh.
There is some weird like because they share the same facilities. They got familiarity with each
Okay.
other.
Kev?
Carolina, their new owner is the University of Pitt's biggest booster in the booster program. He is an adoration with Kenny Pickett. He's in love with him. And Matt Rules,
Nice nugget there.
He recruited him at Temple.
Recruited him at Temple and lost him.
I knew
He
that.
backed out in the last second.
I knew that.
But the booster, when the big guy's in charge,
Yeah.
little Matt Rules over there, just, come on. I need a quarterback right now. He needs a guy right now. And Kenny
He's the most
Pickett,
NFL ready.
everyone says he's the most NFL ready.
He is.
Malik is the guy I think would go first because of that, but that guy's feeling the squeeze, Matt Rule, and I forget the guy's name, the new owner that took over for Richardson.
David Tepper.
Tepper. Thank you, sir.
Former minority owner for the Pittsburgh Steelers, ironically.
Sharing a facility and one of the biggest Pittsburgh Panther
Didn't hear
boosters.
that. You heard that here.
That I
Go.
did not know. That's a
It's
good
Carolina.
nugget.
It's Carolina all day. Not just it's the David Tepper
But he's
connection
got
as
small
well.
hands, dude. So does Matt
Tiny
Rule.
hands,
So.
tiny little hands. But he's going to be.
And if
okay.
it doesn't work out, they can all start a carnival.
all right. So this isn't. We're not. This is not
Huge
Matt
dong
Jones.
carnival.
This is Matt Jones all over again. Can I just
Small
get-
hands equal huge dongs, right? I don't know if that's scientific, but I think Mel Kiper taught me that on a podcast.
Enjoy yourself some Mel Kiper. This
Hey,
is.
real quick, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we get out of
What's
here,
up, the 18-123, by the way?
We're doing this draft
We
or
have to do
no?
this shit fast, but we're drafting because you talked about the draft, and we're going to.
No, we're not going anywhere until we do a draft.
I know that's what I'm saying. So
We're not going
I've
anywhere
got-
till we do a
I think
draft.
I've got it set
All right,
up
so-
for a quick.
Sounded like
draft.
you were wrapping things up.
I'm wrapping things up on the draft, the NFL part of our draft conversation, and I'm going to move.
A quick question.
Yeah, what do you got, Rhett?
Question from the audience.
Malik Willis going as the first quarterback taken, though, right?
I do.
Wow.
I do not.
Two
I
separate
have Pickett.
questions.
I have Pickett.
No, I know. But
Get two separate.
I got
answers.
Pickett.
where's he going?
Malik
I was
Willis
just hedging my bet.
No.
going to Pittsburgh at number 11, and we trade the pick. That's what I said earlier.
Ooh, but let's talk afterwards, Rhett, because your thought. I line up. I'm consistent. I got Pickett, number 1 quarterback overall, going number 6 overall.
Yes, but listen. The A team 1, 2, 3. Ken Marangolo has never been drafted, and we all believe it's his small hands. Correct?
No,
Has he
Yes.
been drafted?
there's like 1,000,
Nothing to do with his hand.
1,000 other reasons.
Doesn't matter. They measure hands first, and then just the rest doesn't
They
matter.
do measure hands first. Oh, these hands.
These hands.
These hands. I was thinking about the never-ending story.
These hands.
I
The
wasn't.
rock guy. These hands.
Never
hands.
caught.
With these hands. We are going to draft.
hands.
All right, so you know what? So we're going to put this. So Tim and Rhett, you guys have a little bit of power here. Okay, you guys get a vote. You get to pick. We get to do a 3-round draft to end the show, and the topics of that 3-round draft are and can be as follows: the Transformers.
No, hold on. I was trying to help you out here, but yeah, you got to just go here.
We're
I'm
going to
trying to
start
help
with.
T-Bird. Just stop giving these guys. These guys
No,
are too
these
young
guys-
for the Transformers.
No, they're not going to draft. But I'm just saying the
You guys know what
Transformers.
Transformers are?
Yeah, they know what the Transformers.
Name one, both of you.
Bam!
Optimus.
Bam!
I mean, come on. They named the two most obvious Transformers ever.
But they got
I
him.
got nothing.
But
Fair
they got
enough,
him.
fair
What
enough.
am I looking at? This is like a offensive coordinator sheet. This. I'm looking at a
Right here.
Sean Payton
I think
sheet.
you're just. I mean, I was just gonna go with it.
Okay, wait, what do we got?
I thought.
Oh, we're going to the.
That was
You
just-
got to give me the topic.
Go ahead. I was gonna say
Topic.
80s bands. That's what that was. One. That was. There was 3. It was. Here's what we came down to: TV pets, iconic footwear, or 80s music
Okay,
generation.
okay,
So what do
okay,
you want?
okay,
But we don't want
okay.
Transformers.
No. We don't want to. Dude, it's like the guy in the baby blue speedo for WWF
All right,
fight.
fine. One question: Who's the hottest Transformer? Ken? Hottest Transformer.
My lawyer has advised me not to answer that. On advice of counsel, I'm going to stay quiet. I'm going to stay quiet. By the way,
damn it.
that was so fast, by the way. He is a lawyer, and he's said that to his client
And he
a
defended
100
me.
times.
He knew I had menace
Dude,
in my
hadn't
tone.
You didn't get the question out of your mouth before he was like, "Don't answer that." So good. That was so good. He was like, "Don't answer that. Whatever you do,
Look
for
at
God's
ADH.
sake."
Come on, Ken. I have to wake up at 3 a.m. your time.
That was so great. That's why I have him here for nights
No,
like
that's
this.
when you have friends in Wales, you have to deal with shit.
Don't answer that. All right, so we're gonna go with 80s music bands. Is that what you're going with, Kev? We're going with
I
that?
think so. I mean, that's not going to
And
hurt
it also
you.
wraps up
Right.
a great
do
weekend. And also
Well,
pulls in some of our.
Here's why. I didn't think we were going to be able to do 80s NFC East teams. Like, this
Yeah.
needs some research put into that.
Yep.
But what a great topic.
I
can
also
argue that.
have written down some of the topics that you guys provided us tonight, and we're
For
coming
real.
back to them.
And by the way, iconic footwear, we're coming back to that.
Oh, can we just do like a 1-round draft real fast of iconic footwear?
If you want to do iconic footwear, do iconic footwear. I was trying to help the situation.
No,
here.
let's do 80s bands.
But we can't just.
All right, we're wrapping
Sean
up on
Kane wants to
80s
accuse T of
bands.
weaing Fadidas. I don't want any trouble over here. I just
If
love that he
you
says that.
like
I know, I do too.
anything that you're seeing, hit the
They were
thumbs up
case
bar. T-Stracking, I'm going to save you and let Kevin
versus
Ricka
five
get the
strikes.
#1 overall draft pick. You will get the second, by the way. We're going 80s bands, musical acts,
Yeah.
including singles or not.
If you take the band, like if you take the Police, you get
Sting. You get Sting. That is the rule.
That's the rule we played by.
Always the rule you play by.
Yes.
If anything you say includes it, go first.
Exactly.
Go first.
Well, I'm going with Prince and the Revolution because one of the top 10 guitarists of all time, one of the top 10 songwriters of all time, has more #1 hits than anyone but
All right.
one other man. I
All
love
right.
that dude, and everyone since he started playing music got pregnant to his soundtrack. And
Fair enough. All right, Prince. T,
someone's getting pregnant.
you get #2.
Are you googling?
You're
the number
Googling.
2 act
You're
in the
totally
history
Googling.
of the
I
80s?
love it. I love it. I
No.
love it that you're
No,
Googling.
not.
Okay, well, who's your pick?
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi is the number out of the gate. #2. Can we just talk about that for a second? Can we just talk about that for like 10, like maybe like 15 or 20 seconds?
We're halfway there.
Because I love Bon Jovi.
I do too.
I love Bon Jovi.
This draft is so great so far. I thought I made the upset pick until Bon Jovi rolled in.
All right,
Holy
so
moly. I love Bon Jovi, by the way.
because
Actually, I'm not-
because
I'm
T
not-
knows
I'm
that
mad.
he's not going to pick for 3 more picks.
So
So,
he took John Bon Jovi.
if you don't get Bon Jovi
But
now,
he did it with a frown on his
you
face,
might
to be fair.
lose him later. I'm going with Michael Jackson.
I mean, The
Whoa,
King
whoa.
of Pop gets picked third?
But he's way before 80s, right?
He's 80s.
Holy balls.
I was
T.
thinking he's 70s.
He's all day 80s.
T.
I was going technical here.
He's all day 80s.
T.
dude.
T. 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 He invented the 80s.
He's the.
I think we paid our bills to Michael Jackson.
I'm pretty sure I owe
your
everything.
power, your
Yes.
water.
Yes.
You just sent it to Thriller dot whatever, and then you turn it to the U, and then the 24. It was weird.
If I had voice control over things now, if you were in college today, you would walk into your room and you'd be like, off the wall,
I love this.
fired up. So it snakes back. It snakes
Ken,
back
you're
to
up,
me.
you're up, Ken,
No,
you're
it snakes
up.
back to me, and I already got Michael, so I'm gonna pair Michael on an all-star team with Madonna. I'm doing it.
It's hard.
I love
It's hard
me
to argue.
some Madonna.
That is hard to
I
argue.
love it.
There's so many blue chips right now.
This is an
know.
all day. So T,
I
you're
know.
going. You get to, who are you putting with Bon Jovi in your band? Michael Jackson is an '80s act. The 18
Well,
123.
Michael Jackson-
I'm checking years now. So I'm going to go. I didn't know this until now. Run DMC.
Bon Jovi and Run
Bro,
DMC.
you lived it. What if you didn't know this until now?
I thought they were
you
70s.
definitely knew it in the 80s. You definitely knew that. When Thriller came out, how old were you?
I thought he started to be the king of pop prior to the
He
80s.
did start before
No, the
that.
Jackson 5 was
But-
70s.
So the Jackson 5 was.
But
the
Michael
big-
Jackson was,
King of Pop
was 80s.
Off
right?
the Wall. I think that was 1979.
That's when the Motown like
Thriller was
anniversary-
83.
25th Motown
Bad was
85
85.
show when he did Billie Jean and he did the moonwalk on stage.
I love doing music shows with T. Who did you? You took a good. Someone just made a
We
good.
promised
pick.
we wouldn't.
Who did you
and
pick
we
after Bon
just
Jovi?
Fat out.
Oh no,
did.
T hasn't picked
Run
yet.
DMC.
No, he picked
All
Run
right,
DMC.
all right, that's a good pick. God, I'm just gonna have to go with. Well, first of all, yeah, I know for the top four picks are.
Gotta go.
I know. I'm taking the Police with Sting.
Yeah.
Love him
you-
dearly.
you
I
get to
love
sneak
it.
it back.
But I was trying to see who I was going to take first before that. That was my safe pick. And now I'm going Guns N' Roses. Have at it, boys.
You
Have
stole
at
it from me.
it.
You
Guns
stole
N'
it from me.
Roses. I got Guns N' Roses, The Police, and Prince.
You stole
guys
them
are
from me.
totally screwed. Although Ken's
stole
first
them.
two picks are sick.
You stole them from me, but you got because if you let me get Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Guns N' Roses, you would only have yourself to blame. T.
No, Howard Jones says no one is to blame, sir. And he's one of my. He's a two-hit wonder, by the way. Two-hit wonder.
Hojo.
He had another one.
All right, Bon Jovi, Run DMC for you, and T.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, you killed it there.
Yeah.
You really made up for it. I was really gonna have way more fun with you if you didn't do something cool like that. And how I didn't pick the Beastie Boys over Guns N' Roses or the Police. I love them both more than Guns N' Roses and the Police.
Yeah.
I do. My pick should have been the Beastie Boys and then the Police. That's how I would redo it if I was me.
I think I get-
because I was chuckling at T for Bon Jovi. He just totally fucked it over. I say F. BB, damn it. If you took
Yeah,
them first
Beastie
and then
Boys.
took Bon Jovi third, your team would be sick. Who are you going to take third, Ken?
So I'm trying. I feel was Midnight Marauders 89.
No, you can't go Tribe Called Quest. They were
Solid
that was
90s.
90.
That was 90s.
Or
That was
91.
90. I mean,
Midnight Marauders were 92, by the way, dude. That was 90. No.
No.
You're right. It was 90 or 91.
It was 90ish. It was
It's not
90ish.
80s.
Okay, so fair enough. That was trying.
No, in theory, I know.
I was trying to sneak him in,
No, don't
and,
sneak
and
him
I
in.
will grant you. But if I look up, so it's not going to be Bob Dylan, it's not going to be Marvin
Don't
Gaye,
look over there.
it's not going to be Bruce, except it
Guns N'
is
Roses.
going to be Bruce. I'm going Michael, Madonna,
And Bruce is not 70s?
I am. No, Bruce
80s.
Bruce locked it
This
down
was,
in the
this
80s.
was from the 80s.
But they started in the 70s.
Yeah, but he was
Who
dominating.
is this guy?
Dude, seriously.
It's
are we-
about
am I-
when you
am I
listen to
standing on
their
your lawn
best
right now,
music,
or
not
am
when
I
they
standing
started.
on
If I
your lawn?
listened
You
to
just
the
wanna kick me
Beatles in
right
the
off your
80s, I
lawn?
could say the
I
eight-
could
I could
get
say
off
the
your lawn.
Beatles.
I'm gonna get off your lawn, dude.
No. The
Get
Beatles
off
have
his
to
lawn.
have released an album in that decade, and then you had to listen to
I mean,
it.
Beethoven
You
had
know how
some
music
hits,
works.
obviously.
Okay,
There were
okay,
people in the
okay.
70s
You
enjoyed.
can't be like, I listened to the Beatles yesterday. I'd like to nominate them for greatest hits of 2022.
we did it. I'm just going down my line. I'm just
I
going
know.
down
I'm
my
pissed
line.
about the Beastie Boys. I'm pissed. And I like my Guns
Sorry.
N' Roses pick, but the Beastie Boys. What am I doing?
By the way, snubs. Quick snubs. Everyone gets one snub. My snub is In Excess. Just an underrated,
The Cure.
amazing,
U2.
amazing
New
80s
Edition,
band.
Hall
New
& Oates,
Edition, Hall &
The
Oates.
Cars,
U2?
George Michael, The Violent Femmes, Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
What are
What do
we
you got?
doing?
What do you got, Rhett?
AC/DC?
AC/DC. Metallica was
Bro, go back to the 70s.
destroyed in the
Google
90s.
everything and let us
Dude,
know.
Queen was late 70s.
Yeah, man.
If we're being honest, and that's the
Lord.
fact of the matter. And by the way,
But
just
did
because you have a
Queen release anything in
high
the
and
80s?
tight doesn't mean you can just like come
Nothing.
in and tell us. Just tell us how you rock it.
No, hold on a second.
No, nothing good. You're right.
Go
It
to
looks
like
great. Your
Thriller,
haircut looks great.
83.
Did Lisa do that?
That's the
It looks great. It looks great. Hey, we're coming back next week. We're gonna have actual new football players to talk about.
new topic.
Our
the draft.
favorite Washington Commanders football
Get to
team.
talk about Christmas presents.
Join
Icon-
us on Friday on this very channel as we bring you the #1 high school lacrosse team in the entire United States of America, St. John's College High School. We'll be live on site
far.
there as they host the IMG Academy Ascenders from Bradenton, Florida, an absolute athletic factory. We'll see if our
over
guys got
40
it.
Division I scholarship commitments.
It's
will be on
going
the
to
field.
be
It's
nuts.
Commitments.
Tim Ucolano,
ridiculous.
Kevin Ricca,
Not
Ken
offers,
Marangolo,
not commitments.
live on
Not
Friday
offers.
at 4
They
p.m.
going.
Eastern.
Commitments.
Commit.
This is Eastern. Eastern. Straight from Kevin's football fanny to the world. He's Tim Strachan.
Man, you just got to make it weird at the end of the show. Really?
I mean, you're sitting right.
I
in front of-
apologize
of
for that.
Benjamin.
I'm just gonna say goodbye. Can't wait to see you guys next week.
He's Kevin Ricca.
The Fanny Pack 12. It's a new
Fanny
conference
Pack
being started
12.
right down here in this basement, and all you guys are invited. Ken's email Ken.
All emails can be sent to Rhett Donnelly, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen.
Good luck to the front
All
office in
day
Landover
long.
because we all deserve it. Maybe they don't, but we do.
Thank God it's Tuesday, everybody. Greatest day of the week. The new Tuesday night. I'm Ken Marangolo. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, we'll see you in 7 days. We're still live.
So what I looked up, which I know I didn't know, I knew I needed a heavy metal